look into the federal investigations into you and look for compensation, and how much are you asking for?
Who's asking for what?
Are you asking the Justice Department to pay you compensation for
compensation?
Your federal investigations into you? Are you asking them to pay compensation, and how much?
Into me? I don't get any compensation. I do it for nothing. I gave up my salary. Into me?
No, it's going to be the Justice Department. Are you asking them to pay you compensation for the federal investigations that happened to you? And how much are you asking
for?
I
guess they probably owe me a lot of money for that. Probably, yeah, that's true. That's very interesting. No, I get no salary. I gave up my salary. It's a good salary. Not as much as these guys make, but that's okay. It's a lot of money. And I don't, as you know, I didn't take it in the first 4 years. I'm not taking it in these 4 years either. But as far as all of the litigation and everything that's been involved, yeah, they probably owe me a lot of money. But if I get money from our country, I'll do something nice with it, like give it to charity.
Okay, we'll return to that ridiculous lie at the end. But like, could somebody get Sleepy Joe a coffee? Where's that Diet Coke button? Mash that thing. Hey, Grandpa, we're not talking about your paycheck. They're teeing you up to say, yeah, no, I'm gonna rob the American taxpayer. That's how these things go. We say, hey, here's a really awful fascistic thing you can do. You gonna do it there, Trumpy? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. But this guy is so deranged, the dementia is so advanced, they can't even keep him on track to demolish, in addition to the White House, our democracy. He goes off with, I don't get compensation. We're talking about the investigations into you deranged, deluded jackass. Could somebody direct the rest of the questions to Auto Pen? I think it's better equipped to handle it than Donald Trump is at this point. But anyway, once they finally got him to understand what it is that they were talking about, he says he's owed a lot of money, but if he takes the money, don't worry, he'll just give it to us. Because he's so charitable. Donald Trump always donating money. And I know they say he hasn't taken his paycheck or whatever, which by the way, I'm just gonna say, I don't believe that. I do not believe that even that piddly amount of money for him, from his perspective, that he isn't taking that. But even if he is, that is the cheapest way he can buy saying, I'm not in this for myself. I'm not corrupt or anything. I mean, I'm only taking literally billions. And so I don't believe that at all. Now we're gonna jump into our conversation. First though, I wanna go to a little bit from Caitlin Collins, who has more skill than all the rest of them combined in sort of trying to keep him on topic and also getting him to reveal things he perhaps later will wish he did not. So here's a little bit of that.
Follow up on her question to you, because the New York Times is reporting that your legal team is seeking $230 million from your own Justice Department now in response to the investigations into you. Is that something you want your legal team to do?
I don't know what the numbers are. I don't even talk to them about it. All I know is that they would owe me a lot of money, but I'm not looking for money. I'd give it to charity or something. I would give it to charity, any money. But look, what they did, they rigged the election. And as you know, we had, in one case, 60 Minutes had to pay us a lot of money. George Slobodanopoulos had to pay us a lot of money, and they already paid. They paid me a lot of money because what they did was wrong. And when somebody does what's wrong, now with the country, it's interesting because I'm the one that makes the decision, right? And that decision would have to go across my desk, and it's awfully strange to make a decision where I'm paying myself. In other words, did you ever have one of those cases where you have to decide how much you're paying yourself in damages? But I was damaged very greatly, and any money that I would get, I would give to charity.
Again, he definitely would not do that. But also, yeah, he was greatly damaged. Remember how they rigged the election? That's why he's answering that question for Mar-a-Lago. That's why he's not the president, because they rigged the election. 60 Minutes, how they broadcast two different parts of interviews in two different venues to rig the election, how that swayed everything. And that's why we're in paradise right now. I mean, the only issue we have to deal with is his complaining about the election that was rigged. Now, this is all absolutely insane. Also, he has no idea. He has no idea that the DOJ, which as always operates as a personal law firm working for him, not for the American people, is asking for $230 million. He doesn't know about that. Which, look, again, I say that sarcastically because how could he not? But maybe he doesn't. Like, is he that big of a liar, or is he Sleepy Joe? He would have us believe This is how all these press conferences go. You could ask him anything you want. He has no goddamn clue what it is that you're talking about. He has no idea who the names are. He doesn't know what year it is. He doesn't know what the question is in reference to. He has no idea what his administration is doing. And I assume the truth, Sharon, is some combination of lies and mental decline. But either way, I mean, it doesn't look good from the point of view of the American people. What do you think?
He also doesn't know the Proud Boys, remember? He doesn't even understand what that means or what that
Doesn't know
organization is.
QAnon.
Of course, the only truthful thing he said there, believe it or not, was that he hasn't talked to them. He doesn't talk to them. He purports to do a DM on Truth Social, and then he usually just ends up blurting out his instructions. He absolutely knows about this. He's taking a salary, and the odds are, I hope Vegas has something on this, that he's going to absolutely steal the $230 million in this asinine move where you're the criminal, but we're all paying for your criminality. So yeah, he knows. I'm a little sick of this. He does have decline, John, but come on. He understands absolutely what everyone is talking about. He's just doing another tier of, when you repeat the question back to try to buy time, he's taking it to a wild level, okay? It's ridiculous.
And I think it's a missed opportunity because he wants to buy himself some time and he loves making money. He should get some sort of deal with Snickers. Just like pull it out, start biting on one when Caitlin Collins gets all fired up or whatever, buy himself a little bit of time. By the way, when he repeatedly says, they owe me a lot of money, who's the they? The Merrick Garland, the DOJ? Let's say that you got the DOJ to give you that money. Where do you think the DOJ got it from? That's just our money. That's all that is. It's not your money and it's not their money. It's our money that he is talking about taking. And look, this is a perfect situation for him. That he gets to go in the Oval Office and be like, oh, I don't know anything about that. You know how I donate my $400,000 a year salary? And then when he gets the $230 million, because why wouldn't he? The DOJ is filled with all the people involved in any of this decision making are loyalists to him, not to the American people, not to the law, to ethics, whatever. So he'll get the money and he'll be like, oh, I didn't know anything about this. I guess I'll buy myself a yacht or something. That's how it's going to work out. And so really fast in terms of the details, what is this all about? Well, it's all about BS, let's be clear. But the specifics of the BS is that it's for a number of purported violations of his rights, including the special counsel investigation into Russian election tampering, which was so invasive of him that Mueller literally never even interviewed him. Okay, that's great. Let's see, the second complaint involves the FBI violating his privacy by searching Mar-a-Lago for classified documents. You remember when they did that and they found tons of them? Because he had actually stolen them, and the only way they could get those documents was to raid him. No matter how many times they went through the normal process, the normal channels, he refused to give back the classified documents that he stole by the box load. That time when they violated his rights to privacy. His right to privacy to conceal stolen classified documents, presumably, he should get hundreds of millions of dollars because you guys really rudely pushed the issue of the fact that he had stolen a bunch of classified material and then shown it off at parties and stuff like that. They're also saying that Jack Smith harassed him to sway the election and he had to spend a bunch of money to defend himself and his reputation, which by the way, his damaged reputation has never hurt him. I don't know why he would need to defend it at this point. What's the difference? Dude, you got taken down on sexual abuse charges. You lost that fraud case. Your fans all still love you. Why are you wasting that money doing damage control when the damage doesn't matter because it's a goddamn cult? That's what I would think. Now, they're saying just don't ask us, ask the DOJ or whatever. But again, it's all the same thing. White House aides, the DOJ, it's all just his buddies at this point. What's the difference? Any final thoughts, Sharon?
No, I think you're right. In his mind, though, he's a king, he's royal, and he deserves a certain amount of respect. So even though he doesn't actually have any respect for others and we don't respect him, I think he's onto something here, that Jack Smith unfairly targeted him and thus brought his public image down a few pegs.
Yeah.